Hello students, we are studying the topic solid state. In solid state, we are studying about packing of particles in crystal lattice or crystalline solid. That means we are studying different ways in which we can arrange the particles in a crystalline solid. In the last session, we saw that in any crystalline solid, the constituent particles are packed as close as possible so that the force of attraction between the particles is strong and the solid obtained will be a stable crystalline solid. I also told you all in the last session that in a crystalline solid, the particles are arranged in three-dimensional space. But before we understand how the particles are arranged in three-dimensional space, we should know how the particles are arranged in one-dimensional and two-dimensional spaces. So in the last session, we saw one-dimensional arrangement of particles, which is also known as linear arrangement of particles or linear packing. Then we saw how the particles are arranged in two dimension. There are two methods in which we can arrange the particles in two dimension. One, AAAA type of arrangement, which is also known as square close packed arrangement. And second is ABAB type of arrangement, which is also known as hexagonal closed packed arrangement. I further told you that to obtain the three-dimensional arrangement of particles, first the particles will be arranged in one dimension. Then many one-dimensional arrangements, when stacked or arranged one above the other, gives us two-dimensional arrangement. And now these two-dimensional arrangement, when stacked or arranged in a particular fashion, will give us three-dimensional arrangement. So we are going to study packing of particles in crystalline lattice, and in this part we are going to study basically three-dimensional arrangement. So in this session we are studying close packing in three dimension. When you take two-dimensional layers and we stack it one over the other, or we arrange them one over the other, then it gives rise to three-dimensional crystal structure. This close packing in three dimension can be done in two ways, means stacking of two-dimensional layers or arrangement of two-dimensional layers can be done in two ways as follows. One, by stacking of square close packed layers, means in this case we will be taking many AAAA type of two-dimensional layers and we will be arranging them one over the other. The second method is by stacking of hexagonal closed packed layer, means we will be taking many ABAB type of two-dimensional layers and we will arrange them one over the other to get the three-dimensional arrangement. So first let us see how to arrange two-dimensional ABAB type of layers, means how to stack square closed packed layers. When you take many square closed packed layers and stack them, then it generates a three-dimensional simple cubic structure. Now during the arrangement or during the stacking, what we should do is, first you arrange the first layer or you take the first layer, place second layer over it in such a way that the spheres of the second layer lie exactly above those of the first layer. As a result, you will get arrangement of two layers. take the third layer, arrange in the similar manner. So, subsequently, square close packed layers will be placed in the same manner and they will look like this. Now, in this arrangement, it will be observed that the spheres of all the layers are perfectly aligned horizontally as well as vertically. So, every layer will be similar. So, all the layers are alike. So, each layer we will be labeling it as A layers. So, the arrangement of the layers is described as A type of three-dimensional arrangement. If you see the figure carefully, then the structure that results due to stacking of square close packed layer is a simple cube, means the unit cell is a primitive cubic unit cell or simple cubic unit cell. It is observed that in this particular arrangement, each sphere will touch 6 neighboring spheres. Out of these 6 spheres, 4 will be in the same layer, 1 will be in the layer above, and the last will be in the layer below. Since each sphere touches 6 neighboring spheres, we say that the coordination number of each sphere is 6. So stacking of square close packed layers results in A type of three-dimensional arrangement of spheres, which is also known as simple cubic arrangement. Example, polonium is the only element which has this kind of crystal structure. Now let us come to the second one, that is stacking of hexagonal closed packed layer. In this, what are we going to do? We will be taking many two-dimensional hexagonal closed packed layers, means two-dimensional AB type of layers, and arrange them one over the other. What I will do is, I will take the first layer, which is a base layer, and I will arrange the second hexagonal layer on it. This is the first step, which is known as stacking or arranging two hexagonal closed packed layer. Now in this step, what do we do? Spheres of the second layer are placed in the depression of the first layer. I had explained you in the last session, when I take AB type of layer, it results into triangular void, and the spheres of the second layer will be arranged on these triangular voids, that is in the depression of the first layer, and this layer will look in this way. This is the first layer, which is hexagonal close packed layer. Now I will place the second layer on it. So the second layer will look in this way. The first layer is violet, the second is reddish in color. If the first layer is labeled as A, then the second layer is not identical to the first layer. So the second layer will be labeled as B. A layer and B layer have an altogether different alignment of spheres. Now, in case of first layer, there are triangular voids. There are many such triangular voids. In this arrangement, all the triangular voids will not be covered by the spheres of the second layer. In fact, only half of the triangular voids will be covered by the spheres of the second layer, whereas the remaining half triangular voids will remain uncovered. The triangular voids that gets covered by the sphere of the second layer, they generate tetrahedral void. So all those triangular voids which are covered gets converted into tetrahedral void. Please remember this term tetrahedral void, which we will be studying in detail little later. The remaining voids, the remaining triangular voids of the first layer which are not covered have above them the triangular void of the second layer. So uncovered triangular void of the first layer, above it will be the triangular voids of the second layer. The triangular void, which one uncovered, of the first layer, and the triangular void of the second layer which are above them, they will together form another type of void which is called as octahedral void. So in the first layer, that is A layer, you have triangular voids. Half of them gets converted into tetrahedral void and the remaining half will get converted into octahedral void in three-dimensional arrangement. So this is the first step. In this first step, what do? The first layer and the second layer are arranged together. Now, in the second step, what I will do is, I will place third hexagonal close packed layer on the second layer. Now, placing of third hexagonal close packed layer can be done by two different methods. See the first method. In the first method, the third layer will be placed on the second layer in such a way that every sphere of the third layer will align with the spheres of the first layer. Means the third layer becomes identical to the first layer and it will look like this. Now, to understand it much better, let us take an expanded view. Now, can you see this particular layer? This is the first layer you can see. This is the layer above it and this is the layer below it. So if this is A, this will be B. Now see the three spheres of this layer and the three spheres of this layer. They are identical. So if this is A layer, this is a different layer. So this will be B layer. This is an identical layer. So this will be a C layer. Okay. So the spheres of the first layer and the spheres of the third layer have aligned with each other. As a result, the resulting pattern will be A, B, A, again B. So it will be A, B, A, B type of three-dimensional arrangement. When you arrange many such layers in this fashion, what you get is you get a hexagonal closed packed structure in three dimension. This hexagonal closed packed structure is known as HCP structure. In this HCP structure, you select any particular sphere. It will touch 12 neighboring spheres. Out of the 12 neighboring spheres, 6 are in the same layer, 3 are in the layer above, and 3 are in the layer below. So, the coordination number of each sphere is 12. To understand this point, please see this particular figure. Take the middle layer. See the sphere which is at the center. It is in contact with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 layers, 6 spheres which are present in the same layer. These 3 layers are in above layer and these 3 spheres are in the below layer. So 6 plus 3 plus 3, that comes out to be 12. So the coordination number of each sphere is 12. Metals like magnesium, zinc, they are having HCP type of three-dimensional arrangement, that is hexagonal closed packed structure. So this is one method by which I can place the third hexagonal closed packed layer on the second hexagonal closed packed layer. Now let us see what is the second method. In the second method, what I will do is, in this method, the third layer is placed in such a way that the spheres of the third layer covers the octahedral void which were generated in the first step. In such placing, the spheres of the third layer will not align with the spheres of the first layer as well as with the spheres of the second layer. A layer already we have labeled as A. Second layer is already labeled as B. Now the third layer is altogether different than first and second layer, so it will be called as C layer. Now when I place the fourth layer, I will place it in such a way that the fourth layer's sphere will align themselves with the spheres of the first layer. Means I will arrange the fourth layer in such a way that the first layer and the fourth layer becomes identical. Second layer should be placed in identical fashion with the fifth, and third and the sixth layer should be identical. So this pattern is called as ABC type of arrangement. How does this look like? See the first layer, see the second layer, and see the third layer. They are not at all identical. Now let us see the expanded view. So this arrangement becomes more clear. See this part. This is A layer. This is B layer. You can see A and B layer are different. This is C layer. See the C layer and A layer. They are also different. On the front side you can see only one complete sphere. But in the layer above, on the front side you can see two complete spheres. So this is first layer, this is second layer, this is third layer. These three layers are not identical. So A, B and C are the labels given to these three different layers. So this type of arrangement is ABC type of arrangement. Now when you arrange the layers by this method, the arrangement which you get is called as cubic closed packed arrangement. Short form is CCP, which is similar or which is same as FCC structure. Now, if you see in this arrangement, see this central sphere. It is in contact with 6 spheres of the same layer, 3 spheres of the layer above and 3 spheres of the layer below. So in this arrangement again, the coordination number of each sphere is 12. So these are the different ways in which you can arrange the particles in 3-dimensional space. So we can arrange the particles in 3-dimensional space in 3 different patterns. First pattern is AAAA type of arrangement. Second is ABAB type of arrangement. And the third is ABC type of arrangement. Metals like copper and silver, they arrange themselves in CCP, that is cubic closed packed structure. So copper and silver have CCP, which is similar to FCC structure.
Thank you. Please like, comment and subscribe for the further videos.